with the promotions, 3 different promotions that we work with that I have ownership in. The bare knuckle GFC, Game Bird Fighting Championships, which is bare knuckle. We got Icon, which had like 8 shows in the UFC last year, 7 shows in the UFC Fight Pass. We sent like 8 dudes to the UFC from there.
Yeah.
And then we got the boxing, Game Bird Boxing, you know. I'm a majority owner in all of them. But not all of them make like money, you know. It's all the long-term play, especially for promotional stuff. I'm looking at it 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
What I could get out of it, you know. In the Trio 5, we make money when we like do events and selling merch. But it's not where I want it yet, you know. Eventually it'll be like a top seller. All these things for me are like long-term plays.
Yeah. Do you do much
And
of
then,
like
the alcohol right here?
Yeah.
You know, I get a flat fee on a monthly, you know. But I also have a huge percentage stake in the company, so it's like double. I do the promoting, and I'm also one of the owners in the. But the alcohol game is another long-term play.
Yeah.
Fighting, especially in like UFC when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of money, and it was hard to get the money. So you got to get creative, and you got to like hustle and stuff, you know. But it's all things I feel that are doable in the market space that I'm in. You know, I'm not advertising some latest science project or something like that. You know, it's all things that I feel like my audience and stuff can relate with. You know.
Do you do much just like Masvidal merch? Like
Not
around
much.
your fights and all that?
Not much.
How come?
Not much. We do here and there. We got some drops coming from this fight. You know, me and my boy right over there, we've been putting it together. But we don't do too much. I had got in with some partners before. Some individuals, you might know them. You don't like them too much yourself either. And went hard. So I wanted to find like the right people to be in business with before I start doing that again, you know.
Yeah.
On a massive scale.
Yeah. Knowing that we're going to go downtown and be in a convertible and we're going to get a lot of attention, do you look forward to that still every now and then?
What?
Like fan interactions and like
You know,
The thing is, when you have loyal fans, it's good. But when you got these bandwagon fans, it kind of sucks. Because they act like they didn't know him, but they only know him from like the knee and on.
That's
they
it.
don't know him from the knee before.
Yeah.
But if you're a true fan, you know him from 18, 17,
Oh yeah.
even myself from middle school.
Yeah.
You know?
he summed it up pretty good, but like, remember the interaction today we had in the car driving? Like,
Yeah.
no matter how many times that happens in a day, when it's genuine like that, that never gets old.
Yeah.
And every time, it's like a shot of adrenaline. Like,
Yeah.
holy smokes, I had that effect on you.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And then it just gives me like, damn right, bro, let's go, you know. And that's like a very like common reaction when a lot of the people here see me, but it never gets old.
Yeah.
It's like it never gets old. Only time, you know, when I'm with my kids at the movie theater, I'm eating with my kids, and people be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, can I take a picture?" That's the only time that I'm gonna, you know, not annoyed, but like I'd rather not at that moment, especially my kids. They don't mind it, but I want to give them time, and then people will talk, and I don't want to be short with them, so now I'm talking to you know, for like 5-10 minutes. My kids are now tripping, now they're mad, you know.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the picture's over. They'll say something, you know, something like that. And those are the only times where maybe it's not the best, but I never turn anybody down for a picture or anything, because I feel like these individuals are the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm performing at such a high level, you know, that people are watching me, people know me. Who am I to deny any one of these people for a picture or whatever, you know?
The whole picture thing is just weird though, and like why can't you just go up and say what's up to somebody and be like, yeah, I met Jorge Masvidal, like.
Well, because it's social media now. And it's
I know, but it's just annoying.
instant validation. You put that picture up. Look who I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
I just had lunch with. So like I take pictures with a lot of people, and then they'll tag me in it, and then I'll see like some of the craziest tags, like people that I just met. They'll put like just chopping it up with Masvidal. Big plans coming soon. Just had a business lunch. I'll be like, damn.
Yeah.
What was the sales pitch? Because I didn't even hear it, you know.
Yeah.
And like it happens a lot.
I bet that is cool when you meet like like he was saying, the real genuine ones though.
Yeah.
Because before you really blew up, you did have like, you were kind of like a cult fan following.
Ton of fights.
Yeah.
Ton of fights.
Yeah. And well, the people that loved you, like really loved you,
The
you
thing
know?
is, right now we're living in an era where there's a lot of bandwagon.
Yeah.
So they say they're a fan, but they're not a fan. They're going off of the hype. If you're a real fan, you're a real fan, and you go with the highs and the lows.
I'll be doing the pictures, whatever, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 people recognize me, so I hit it back to back, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then like the 5th person to come, oh my gosh, I have no idea who you are, and I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to bother, but can I get a picture?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, for what? Why are you bothering me? Why are you
Yeah.
taking time when I'm here with my kids eating lunch? You don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
It means nothing to you.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I'll be like, nah, I'm done doing pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not offended that somebody would know me or not know me ever in my life.
Yeah.
But for you to rob me of my time with
Yeah.
my family or anything like that, just to do what the next monkey did, you know, it's like,
I know, dude.
monkey see, monkey do. And that happens a lot.
I
I have no idea who you are. What do you do? Like, what's that? And then they just start asking questions like, let me go about my day. You know?
just
Well,
like,
you can always say you're in the movie Magic Mike.
Yeah, I
You're
be saying all
packing.
types of stuff.
You're
You know, I'm
packing.
an aggressive jazz dancer, you know, known for that. I'm a
Yeah.
plastic surgeon.
yeah.
You know, I do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I be saying
Yeah.
crazy. When somebody doesn't know me and they start with those questions,
Just be like, I was convicted of 6 nasty murders like
yeah,
30
like
years
back
ago. I
to
just
back,
got out
you
of
know.
it.
I just literally got out of jail and
Yeah.
everybody's like freaking out about it. So
Yeah. No, I've heard that from other fighters too. They're just like, they can see like out of the corner of their eye that like someone's Googling, who is this person?
yeah.
You know, so that
Ah.
like, I can get a photo with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, when it's a genuine person, like, man, I've been watching you since blah blah blah, and I saw you fight with blah 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 and this and that. It's like it's the best feeling, you know.
Yeah.
You share that moment in time and space right there, and it's cool. But then, like we said, you got the like, who are you? Why is everybody asking to take a picture with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, Karen. You don't have to get this picture. My daughter hates me picking her up from school because it's like chaos, you know. It's like, no, you pick me up in the corner, I'll walk you. Besides, I think kids at a certain stage are embarrassed of their parents. But my daughter's like,
How old is she?
she's 14 now.
Oh, wow.
So she's time flies. She's way too cool for me, you know?
Yeah.
And then like her little, which is funny because like I'm the coolest thing in her school, period. Like I go there and I shut that thing down.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally like 100 kids will rush to they see me, they start pointing fingers, nuts. Everybody's whipping out the phone. So I would think like I gotta have some cool points with my daughter. No, the complete it's like negative cool points. Like it's even worse, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't pick her up in any nice car or nothing like that. I gotta like 2 blocks down, she'll come walking to me just cause like I'm embarrassed her, you know?
That's the age, like she's definitely into boys, huh? She have a boyfriend or anything?
That's for high school.
Yeah.
That's for high school. Or maybe college.
Yeah.
College, you know, and stuff like that. But you know how it is, man. I mean, you can't really stop them, you know. If there is, there is. But that I know of, nah.
You haven't had that like the dad meets the boyfriend type thing yet.
We've had the talks, you know, and stuff many times. My son's 8, you know, but he's literally a clone of me. Just the best thing in the world.
You watch your opponent's interviews before you fight them? Do you like to hear what they're saying?
I can give less, really.
Yeah.
I just like to fight. All that other high school like to me, it's like, I mean, I guess I should watch it because they might maybe make a mistake and reveal some strategy or, you know, things like that. For the most part, if I like come across it, I won't ignore it. I'll pay attention to it, but I don't like look at this, you know. Just worried about me.
You don't watch much film in the fights either?
I watch film. I watch a little bit of film here and there. I have my moments for it. I watch a lot. In certain times, my coaches are always watching, sending me clips as well. In the early part of my career, I didn't watch no film, really. Just maybe like 1 or 2 fights, and that's all I needed just to gauge their speed and their strengths. You know, and then as I got older, I started watching more film. But like Gilbert, I've seen a bunch of his fights. He's also from South Florida, so Well, he's not from South Florida. He's from Brazil, and he's been here I don't know how many years, but he's been out here for a while, so I've known of him for a minute.
You feel like this, like both of you guys kind of have like inside information on each other because it is so close.
Definitely, he has 1,000 guys at his gym that all trained with me. Literally broke sweat with me on the mat. Numerous guys. I know a couple guys that have trained alongside with him a lot, that have worked out with him a lot. At the end of the day, though, what's coming, you can't stop it, though. That's how you got to think. Like, if I start thinking, like, oh, man, so-and-so might have told him I have a phenomenal jab. It's like, if I'm that weak-minded that I'm going to let that, you know, mess up the thing. But at the same time, there has to be some secrecy, you know, and I'm very, like, closed doors on how I train and where we train, because also, if somebody told Ben Askren he's going to do this to you, might have not been there, you know?
Yeah.
So there has to be a level of respect and secrecy too, but I just train myself as much as I can and just know that this guy can't stop what I'm gonna do, you know?
Think you're done with tattoos?
I would say done, but I'm not they hurt me, man. They piss me off, you know? My whole life, if I feel pain, I give it back or I release it in some way. If I'm running and it's hurting, you keep pushing through that run, and you know, you get punched, you punch back, things like that. You know, I feel the pain and I'm used to releasing. When you get in a tattoo, you're just taking that pain and just sitting there. Yeah. Never ending. But here and there, I see some things I want to do, you know.
I just feel like it's unusual to see somebody with a neck tattoo that isn't like completely tatted up.
Yeah, you know, that was my first tattoo.
That was your first one?
I got that one at like 17, 18. There's also my stamp. This, you know, had a very different outlook on life back then. And I'd had a couple jobs, and I had this telemarketing job, which was like the only job I could keep, and I was like making decent money. And I would go back and forth between that telemarketing job and then like training. I would round up my money and then go right back to training, and then I'd work the telemarketing for like a month. And then right around like 17, 18, I was like, man, if I'm putting in those office hours and all that shit, I'm becoming less of an animal, you know, of this thing. I'm getting domesticated in this office. I have to follow rules and all this and I'm not in the gym, you know. So I went and got my official first tattoo and stamp, like, to let myself and the whole world know this is what I'll be doing the rest of my life. Because back then, when I got this 20-something, like 18 years ago, something like that, nobody had neck tats, you know. Yeah. It was like a big statement. Nowadays, everybody got a face tat and a neck tat, but back then, ain't nobody had no neck tattoos, you know. Yeah. So it was like my way of saying I'm married to the game.
Mm. What does it say?
Game Bred.
It says Game Bred, yeah.
It's just so old, it's like, I had to touch it up.
Have you ever touched it up?
Yeah, just the neck hurts. Yeah. I gotta get the right, you know, the right peeps to do it.
It really hurts that bad, huh? Just listening to you talk about the pain.
Like, yeah, like on the neck, you know.
It hurts that bad?
Not that it hurts that bad, it's annoying to me.
Yeah.
It's I just want to hit the guy that's doing the tattoo, but you can't, right? So it's like, I'm getting all this like built up. I just want to do something, release it, scream something, you know? Yeah. You just gotta sit there and take it. A lot of people like taking pills or getting drunk before the tattoo. I just do it straight up, you know? Yeah. Pain wouldn't bother me if I could like release it, but since I'm just sitting there.
Jorge, remind me about your father. So he came here from Cuba. I remember that story, you know, and on the...
I tell you one thing. I remember when I was a little kid,
yeah.
And I was riding bike with him. And he's like, oh, Daddy, my dad's locked up. He's only 17 years. Yeah. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, ah. You got your dad that's locked up?
Yeah.
That's the way of life sometimes. Yeah.
And that was for what?
Now you're probably wondering, why does this good-looking guy fight? I love the money.
One thing, it takes money to be a good-looking person.
Does it?
Before the money, Well, I mean, actually, in my opinion, he's still not good looking. But before the money, he was definitely not good looking. But at least now he got a good barber to help him with his looks.
That's true, man. It's all about the barber, man.
Well, in my opinion, it's all about the tip.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And George happens to be a good tipper.
Yeah, Papa Deuce escaped on a raft.
Yep.
He made a raft at 14, 15 with his friend and his best friend's uncle, and they hit the seas for like 7 days, landed in Virgin Islands or no, the Bahamas. From the Bahamas, they got extradited to USA. He got sent to live in like the worst possible neighborhood with nobody next to him, no guidance or nothing. So my dad had a like, rough life, and you know, all his wrongdoings he passed on to me, what to do, what not to do, how to go about life, especially being born here in America and having all these other privileges that he himself didn't have. So he's put a lot of wisdom into me over the years.
And he went to prison when you were how old, you said?
I was 4 and change, about to be 5.
And then that's when you went to Peru.
That's when I went to Peru.
And your mom flew you down there?
Yep, my mom flew me down there with my grandparents.
And you lived there for...
Close to 4 years.
And you remember it pretty well?
Yeah, I got some vivid memories of it, you know, because there's a lot of... It was a crazy time to be living in Peru. There was a guerrilla group called the Sendero Luminoso or something like that, and they were like terrorists. And they would plant like bombs in cars and blow up like electrical plants because they were opposing the government at the time. And it was like, we'd have rolling blackouts for weeks. There's no light, no nothing, so it was just nuts. It was a crazy time. I remember things like that, like very vividly. I remember like family meetings and stuff like that. One time I almost got killed too. These dudes, I used to skate. I had my like little skates from the USA, not thinking anything of it. And I was skating one day, and I was kind of near a mall, and these just like 5, 6 of them came after me with everything I got to strip me, I guess, on my skates, because that's all I had on me. And I had to do like a nice sprint to get home and be safe. So I definitely remember that. Remember the food was great. I loved the food always. I was already doing karate over there because that was like the only thing I liked and would keep me calm, you know? So my grandparents would take me to karate. I remember doing karate over there and shit.
Do you remember when you found out that you were going to go back to Florida?
Yeah, my mom showed up, surprised. I hadn't seen her in a minute. And she finally showed up, didn't tell me it, and I just woke up and she was there, and I thought I was dreaming. I'd never forget. And she had like a bunch of presents for me and everything. And she's like, I'm gonna go back now to the States after this, but you'll be coming home soon now. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't know what home was because I had already been there like 4 years. I didn't have my dad, my mom wasn't there, so I was like, this is home. I'm with my grandparents. What do you mean home? She said, no, back to Miami. And I remember at first I was like, oh man, awesome, I'm gonna be with my mom, but at the same time I'm like, man, I thought I was just gonna live here already, like indefinite, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit of a shock. And then I got happy as hell because I knew I was gonna be with my mom, everything be how it used to be, you know?
Mm-hmm. I saw you tell George and Goes that your son is showing an interest in fighting.
Yeah, he definitely has. He has like the same qualities I had as a young man. Like the striking is like fearless. You know, he wants to throw hands all day, and he's actually got a crazy amount of hand speed, hand-eye coordination, and good power for his little size. You know, I didn't grow up. He didn't grow up me training him, but he would be around the atmosphere. You know, because he'd go with me to the gym and stuff. Yeah. But I didn't want him to train and like force it on it, because it's already, I felt like it was forced enough, him just being in that environment. Yeah. But he's gotten older, all he ever wants to do is just like train, and he asked me, you know, he actually likes to train. He spent like 12 minutes the other day in the sauna with me at a good temperature. Then he'll get out, he has a little punching bag that he works on constantly. He has a bad day at school, he won't even talk to me. Hey, how's your day at school? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. And just go in his room and he'll close the door and he'll beat the living shit out of his bag. I'll just hear, bah, 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 bah. he just, like I said, he's a clone of me, man. But would I like my son to fight? Because that's always the next question.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I would dread that walk to the cage, you know. Even if I got him so prepared and everything, it's just I lived it for him. He doesn't have to do that, you know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if that's what he solely in his heart wanted to do, you can never stop a fighter. Like, if a fighter wants to fight, he's going to fight, you know. So if he wanted to do it and he showed me, like, man, I'm waking up early just like you used to and getting these miles in and working out and doing this and doing that, then, you know, we'll get after, you know.
So will he go to your fight?
Yeah, because it's Miami and stuff, but usually I like to be selfish at this time, and I don't want to take him because he gets a little nervous and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, you know, but this one's in Miami. He's a little bit older, so he should be attending this one live.
For the first time?
Mm-mm.
He's been to one before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one?
When I fought Stephen Thompson in New York. And, you know, he didn't have the best reception for it, and a fight's a fight, you know, so I feel on TV too it's not as traumatic.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like you said, you want to be a little selfish too. Like, you don't want to be thinking about him, right?
Yeah, and that's something that constantly happens. If my daughter's going, my son, I'm like, oh, you know, it's just time to be selfish, man, because the more selfish I am and the more victories I stack up, the more paychecks I get for them, you know.
You're to a point with your look that your beard requires more attention than the hair.
Yeah, no. You know, if I'm getting braids, forget about it. You're talking about 2 hours.
Yeah. Do you really braid it outside of fights?
No.
Yeah, just fights.
Oh, for some interviews, I'll braid it for like an interview or two, you know.
The problem is with braids, it's really bad for, in my opinion, it's really bad for your hair.
Yeah.
It snaps your hair, it damages your hair, and then the next thing, as a man, you start taking off the braids, you're like, what is this? Your hair starts falling apart.
Really?
It's not good. It's not good, you know?
It does. You lose a ton of hair every time I braid my hair. And I gotta put product in this stuff, so I just, you know, I have to keep it natural. Save it for the fights, competition.
So guys, this is the best he's gonna get, all right? This is the best he's gonna get. Keep in mind, he's already in his late 30s, all right? We're not talking about he's in his mid-20s, early 20s, even late 20s. No, this is the best he's gonna get without plastic surgery, all right? He had to keep his hat on the whole time because those entradas, he got more entradas than Dolphin Mall, all right, guys? He got more entradas than Dolphin Mall, so let's keep on this hat. And 305,
Also,
all right, let's
for the
rock
brand
305.
also.
But those entradas, let's hide those entradas until fight night.
How about the beard though, bro? The beard's
You want me
nice.
to trim it more?
No, it's perfect, bro.
I just lightly trim it. Lightly. If you want me to trim it more, I can.
It's perfect. It's perfect, dog.
I mean, if you want me to trim it more, let me know. I did a light trim.
Maybe just right here.
Alright, sit down.
A cinch.
The problem is with him, he thinks he's a real waddle stomach. He's not. You gotta remember.
He's
look
just-
how-
he's
look
just
how-
mad
look how thick
'cause-
these ears are. Look at these.
That don't
if it
matter,
wasn't for
dog.
him being on pay-per-view, he will never get no honeys. You'll never get no honeys.
He's just mad because back we went to school together, and I would knock him down even back then. You know, he would get him too, but I could just outdo him from time to time. You know, so he's still butthurt about these.
The problem is he thinks he's gonna be on pay-per-view. He's on TV. Just because he's on TV does not mean you're a model. All right. He thinks he's like Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. No.
Nah, bro.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to do this part with the blade? And this is another thing. For all my barbers brothers out there, he wants me to cut his hair with a hat on. You know how difficult it is to cut someone's hair with a hat on?
Grinding, bro. We had to throw up the.
But you know what? When you've been doing this for so many years, you can do it.
Matches the shorts, man. Come on, bro.
But
Orange on the
he wants me to cut his hair with a hat on. You tell me how that can be done. All right?
Just did.
There's only a limited I can do. but it's good enough.
Perfect. We're ready for TV now.
Have you like talked to the UFC before about bringing the show to Miami? Like, was it ever in the works before?
We talked a couple times, and until we couldn't make a couple things right, which was, you know, taking care of me, the main thing, I wouldn't agree to come here, you know. I feel like it's a lot of work. And it's a market that they want that they can't control without me, you know. Until the next dude from Miami comes and does it on a big stage, they've never been able to come. They had guys like Joel and me and numerous people, and they were like, man, we can't do it unless Masvidal's on board.
Mm-hmm.
I got Masvidal on board now, you know.
Has it been you said it was going to be like more work, and like, has it been challenging, or is there extra challenges that come along with it?
Just extra challenge because of people, like everybody and their mama swears they know me and they want a ticket, and I went to school with you in elementary and this and that. It's like, bro, it's crazy, you know.
That's been going on during this camp?
Yeah, of course. So just a lot of that, you know, but the added pressure that I've always felt, my home is the road, so I feel comfortable fighting Japan, Vegas, California. I don't care. It's a flight, it's a hotel, boom, get to it. Back here at home, I'm gonna feel a little different, you know. It's gonna be more feeling, more this, more that. It's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form, but you know, it's just added pressure. You got to pay for that added pressure. And also, you want this city that I have, you want me to just hand it over to UFC? You got to pay me.
When you say added pressure, is that like knowing that people bought tickets and they're going to show up and like they got to see Masvidal win on Saturday? Is like that pressure?
Not just win, but winning in a Miami style, you know? Leave people speechless. I don't want my community, all my fans, everybody's coming out to support me just get like a dove and like, nah, I want to leave them jaw dropping, you know. Wow, I didn't expect that. Holy smokes, Masvidal's killing me, like always, you know, and bring that same nostalgia that I've brought to people many times in my fight. So it's not that it's an added pressure, but it's just like, man, do it right, do it on the biggest scale possible, knock these dead, you know.
You think the walkout's going to feel different for you?
Definitely, you know, it's going to be a lot of faces that I might recognize or not, so I don't want to get too emotional. I'll probably be the coldest walkout in my sense, the way I've been envisioning, because I don't want to see nobody like, oh, I went to school with so-and-so and thinking about that and emotions. Like, nah, man, just walk to the cage, is another fight. After the fight, though, I'm hugging up everybody, dapping up everybody, you know, and it's going to be wild. But before the fight, and that's usually just me, I don't make contact with the audience. I'm very cold. I just want to get there. I'm listening to my coach's words, his final and last instructions. He's very good at keeping me, like, you know, not too hyped or not, you know, hyped enough. He just keeps me right there balanced until it's boom, go.
I mean, you think about all the fights that you have had in your life, like the backyard ones, all the professional ones, everything. The alleged ones, the non-alleged ones. What does this fight mean to like your life, like your trajectory, what you still want to accomplish? Like what does this fight mean?
Everything, you know. I suffered 3 losses first time in my career. I lose 3 like that. And it's like I got goals still set for myself that I haven't touched yet, you know. And I need to get those goals this year. Gilbert is like the perfect way to do that. When I set out to come back, I said I'm not gonna fight a wrestler now because I've gone back to back to back to just fighting guys that just want to crotch sniff and stuff. Let me stay away from that style while still working on my wrestling, get a more favorable matchup that's still in the top 5 type guy, and then see where I'm at. You know, if ever the day comes that I feel I don't have it no more, I'm gonna be hurting. I'm gonna cry for like a whole day, this and that, but I'll be able to hang the gloves up. You know, I feel in my heart of hearts, Gilbert at no point in his career UFC could ever contend with me. From his start in the UFC to my start in the UFC, I've always felt I'm levels, shoulders above this guy, you know? So I only expect a victory against him, you know, now, 10 years from now, 10 years before, just because I don't feel he has the same dog first thing as me, nowhere near the same dog and the same skill set. I think it's a great fight, but this fight sets a lot of things into perspective. I can't beat this dude, what am I doing, you know? Maybe it's time for me to pass it up, you know. But get this W, knock this dude out in my city. That's the resurrection. That's the nitrous right there. To go challenge for that belt. Bring the belt back to all my people, my community, everybody, to myself, for my kids. Oh, that domino part right here.
Yeah.
Very famous. It's a domino part. Little mama's at.
Right there, don't touch it.
You feel like, do you feel like...
I gotta stop and get some coffee because that's just some Cuban ass Miami ass.
I was gonna bring up the Cuban coffee. You showed it to me last time I was here.
Yeah, let me stop in one of these spots real quick.
Do you feel like the clock running on you to still accomplish what you want to accomplish? Like, as you're starting to think about the clock?
Have to, you know. There's definitely a clock there. And I feel it in some ways I don't. You know, I could still run through a wall and wake up the next day and run through another wall again. But for some things, like the way I used to maybe recover, now I need sleep. Back then, most of my career it's ran on like 5 hours, 6 hours max of sleep, you know, 4 hours a lot of times, just because that's the way I was wired and I was built. Nowadays, I don't get those like good 6 or 7 hours of sleep. I feel like, you know. So certain things have caught up to me. Now when I put on weight, it doesn't go away overnight how it used to be. I could eat cheeseburgers all day long, wake up with a six-pack. Now it's not the same. So it's like, you know, there's a couple things that ain't firing like before. But you know what? I'm also not 19, 20. I'm 38. I have a world of experience in this sport. I more or less know the things that can get me to fire and be just right and compete at this level, you know? So I feel the age on some things, but in some other things, man, I feel better than ever, you know, with my technique, with my timing a lot of times, with my setups for stand-up. I feel like I'm at my peak in some areas.
Yeah. Do you feel the doubt, the outside doubt that people have on this one? Because like you said, you've lost your last 3. Do you feel that?
Do I feel doubt? Yeah, I mean, I've always felt like for my bigger fights, I've always been the underdog. So that doubt there is like, I don't even feel it because I'm used to it, you know? It's not usually, I think that's why people also resonate so hard with me, because a lot of the times I'm the big underdog in these fights, and somehow, some way, I manage to win and win in a great way, you know, not some huggy, lovey-dovey, you know? I put space between me and the next guy and often. So I feel like the doubt's always going to be there. Maybe this fight has the most doubt of all my fights. That doesn't mean to me, because at the end of the day, when I started, was nobody with me, was you know, nobody backing me up, no sponsors giving me money, no people wanting to get behind me and start brands with me or none of that stuff. It's just me and the whole world doubting me since I started, you know. So that's never bothered me. The doubt or the hate or whatever they're calling it these days.
When you when you were living in your car and sleeping in your car and you were telling yourself like you weren't stressing about it because you just knew that your fighting was going to get you to this point, does it still, do you ever have moments where like you're driving in downtown Miami in a Lincoln Continental and it's just like even though you had confidence that you were always going to be here, like do you ever reflect on like I'm here, you know? Do you have those moments?
I got like this heart that's like where part of my major of my work drive comes. I'm never like content in a way I could say, you know. I gave myself a nice pat in the back after the Nate Diaz fight because, you know, Donald Trump was there. The Rock gave me the belt. Roberto Duran walked out with me, and I was like, wow, this is like a big stepping stone in the right direction. And I lived it for that night hard, maybe like the next day, and then after that it's like, what's next, you know? And that's just how I am. I've been wired my whole life, like what's next? I did that, you know. After I broke what's-his-face's face in 5 seconds, or actually like 3 seconds, man, that's it. I partied for like a week, and then on to the next, like what's the next record I'm gonna break? So I'm not too good at like reminiscing in the past. I'm more of like, man, what am I gonna do right now?
What's it like going out as Jorge Masvidal these days?
I don't pay for anything. That's the truth. I don't make lines. I mean, I buy my own food, but like for clubs and shit, we get in everywhere for free. There's never no lines. Everybody here knows me. But it's like that everywhere, and it's crazy to think that I'm fighting off these things right here. I could get so much, you know. It's nuts, man. It's very humbling every time. It never stops. It's amazing me that I'll be like chilling there, somebody will be like, oh, you're so and so, come, I got you, I'll take care of you, blah blah blah. Who you with? All right, come on, let's go. You know, so that's always very humbling, man.
Like when they pitched this piece, they called it the King of Miami. Is that how you feel?
Definitely feel like the King of Miami, but I didn't start feeling that like when I broke Ben Askren's face or like got the title from Nate or this and that. Like I felt like that since a long time, man. Since I was a kid, I felt like I'm might be a little prince right now because I ain't got everything. You know, I don't even have a car, let's say, or whatever. But I'm gonna be a king. And then once I started taking care of my family furthermore, that's when I really felt like a king. It's not from people coming up to me and telling me, oh, you're the king of this city or this and that. It's just like I take care of myself, my family, my kids, and I think that's what makes me a king, you know? And there's many kings in Miami. I'm just the most powerful one. What's up, baby? What is it, Monday night?
Yeah, Monday night.
Yeah, you get yourself in trouble in this city. That's the thing where athletes, they come out here and they wild out way too much, you know? They come from some town they never been in. These pro athletes come out here, they lose their mind. It's Monday, you can party here till like 4 a.m., no problems.
Why did you punch Leon that night?
I can't have just running up on me like that. I mean, I've always been like that. I give everybody their space, their peace, and I don't mess with nobody. But if you're coming for me, I'm here, bro. That was just in the goal, real pop, pop, pop. And they kept it moving. I got other shit to do. And, you know, if Leon hadn't disrespected me like that, we never would have came to that. But he doesn't want to realize it and admit it to himself. Like, you're the one that did wrong. I was doing my interview, dog. What you talking about? Asking me questions in the middle of it, and I'm polite enough to answer your stupid question, and on top of me, you gonna tell me to shut up? And I got my kids watching, bro. You stupid. You know, I'm gonna have my kids growing up, there'll be some deadbeats and people just telling them to shut up and they're gonna put up with it. That's what's gonna happen if they see their dad taking that type of, you know? And I don't care how many people you with either, because I was by my damn self. Don't give a he was with 4 or 5 dudes, but I know I'm always walking with God, and God's got my back, so I didn't give a damn who he was with, man. Let that boy have it, ta. And his little brother's a so your brother's another little you know?
You think
I I'd kick his brother's ass and Leon's ass at the same damn time. I don't even know that other corny his name. But while security was holding me, his little brother got a little sucker punch in on me. So that's one dude that one day we will have to like make things right, you know? And by make things right, I mean leave him in a puddle of blood. Dade County goons, boy.
Yeah. So you came here and you watched the UFC, and I looked up that date. You had your pro debut the following month. Did you know that? It was your next month.
Wow, what a good one. Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even, forgot about that completely. Too many punches to the head. What I do remember though is that I came here, competed, and then I was catching the train back. But by the time the UFC finished up and we went to a bar trying to pull with some chicks and what's up, this and that, you get to the train station is closed, right? All right, no big deal. I'm stuck in downtown, not $1 in my pocket because we use everything to get over here. I slept at the train station. But the only problem was after sleeping at that train station that the following day I had a grappling competition. And it was like one of my last final grappling competitions before actually going pro. So I went and did this grappling competition. I actually won. Won it on like no sleep, literally slept in the like right over there. You see them towers over there, that little thing right there? That's where you catch the metro mover to the train.
Really?
I slept in like one of those till like 5, 6 in the morning till the train started running again. Went home, grabbed my, got back on the bus, went to the competition, made it just on time, weighed on the scales, competed, and I ended up getting like first place in the grappling tournament, like a Naga type thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then after that, a month later, I do my pro debut in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, War Memorial. Took many fights to get here, man.
I mean, just to know that this place is going to be filled with people who are paying to see you fight in Miami, secure a title shot potentially. Like, I mean, what is it like kind of looking at it and feeling that that's
Right
7
now, I'm
days
getting
away?
like goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't happen often in my life that I get like, not overwhelmed, but it's hitting me hard right now. Like, damn. A couple days from now, it'll be packed. People are gonna be screaming. Violence, fighting. The only thing that makes it different is that these people, like my people, it's my city, it's my community, it's my culture. It's literally where I started everything, in this city, in this beautiful city of mine. So now to bring it back, it's all like hitting me like, and it's good to feel this now because I don't want to feel this emotion on fight day, because on fight day I'm just like cold-blooded execution. I got emotion and stuff, but I'm like, I'll dwell on that later. Later I'll do this and that, but for right now, just kill somebody. But right now I can let all the emotions fly because I don't got no combat in front of me. So it's gonna be a hell of a feeling, man. I feel my city deserves it as well. I feel I'm gonna inspire the next generations of great fighters to come out of here, that they're gonna headline all by themselves one day. I don't know when, but I hope that I inspire, just like I inspired myself when I came to the UFC. I hope I inspire millions across the globe, especially a couple killers from my city to just like, I got this game, Brett. It's my turn now. Bomb, you know?
We were talking about, you know, you're going to have a book come out, and, you know, your story has just been absolutely amazing. Like, how important is it to write the ending of "You were a champion," that I won a championship? How important is that to you?
Life or death. You know, simple way to put it. Life or death. That's why I put so much into this and like nothing else. I have all these other things and these big offers, and it's like, it's cool, but nothing means more than that belt wrapped around my waist. Nothing, you know. For many reasons. I set out to do it as a kid, and it's what's like kept me going after loss, after win, after huge paychecks. You know, I don't have to fight ever to be good for life, you know, ever. A while back already. Been saving up my money and doing the right thing with it. So I do this for the utter love of it, and for the utter love of wanting to get that belt. And obviously, I want to get rewarded handsomely. Mm-hmm. So I do collect a nice paycheck. But it's for the belt, man. It's just to beat all these on my way, because I know it when I see them eye to eye, when I see them competing, when I see how they live their life. I know I'm better than these guys, every single one of them in my division.
Yeah. I feel like when I listen to you talk, that's the biggest thing, is it just, because I mean, there's similarities in why everybody wants a championship, but I feel like for you, it's that like you feel like you haven't still, even after everything, have not quite lived up to your potential. Is that fair to say? Like you have not realized your potential yet?
Super fair to say. For many different reasons in life, maybe I was hurt going into a fight, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that stupid street mentality side of my mind had me doing dumb shit before fights. You know, there's many things that I could say that I always wasn't on the right track, you know, and then on top of it, it's just a sports world. Sometimes you've done everything right and you're just slightly off. You slipped on a banana peel and somebody caught you, you know, or something happened. So I just feel like, let me write down all the wrongs, let me write down all the rights, let me start multiplying good things, let me start minusing bad things, and do it again. I did it in 2019 and it worked wonders for me, and I had to take a step back, you know. Outside of fighting on my personal life, I was dealing with a lot of things, and I didn't want to come back to the sport. That's what's taking me so long to come back, you know. And I had to get these things right before I would get in the cage, because if my mind, body, spirit, and soul isn't right, then that's not the best me, and that's the only way to get the best version of me. So I've been working very hard before I ever got in the cage to deal with those things, and once those things were dealt with, I knew I could come back to training, I could come back to selling events out. And now, come April 8th, people gonna remember, you know, we were talking about earlier, the Roy Jones song, right? Y'all must have forgot. I know a lot of my people didn't forget, but I'm gonna rewind the whole world. I'm gonna rewind it back and remind everybody who I am and where I started from and why I do this. Because at the start of it, yeah, I I was dead broke. I wanted a way out, and this was my way out. But it was always from love, because I love this. This is my basketball game. This is my football game. I'm a top-notch chess player, and this is my chess, you know?
Yeah.
So it still, like, pumps in me and bumps in me, like, this is what I want to do, man, you know? And at one point, age will tell me I can't do it no more, but until then, I'm going to live it full blast, fighting the best in the world or the dudes that can get me the most money, and that's it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to fall short for whatever reason, how would you feel about your career?
You know, I made a ton of money, so it's not like I'd be mad at myself because I was able to, not just because of money, but I'm able to gain that financial freedom to bless my family, bless my kids, send them off into good schools, take care of my dad, take care of my mom, take care of myself, you know. So in a big part of it, wow, best thing that ever happened. But in a big part of it also, it's like, it's not what I signed up for. I signed up only to be a champion and beat champions, which I've done. I've beaten numerous ex-world champions, knocked them dead, this and that. But getting that belt to me is everything, you know? Being the best at that craft that I've selected, which is fighting, is the best. And it's not just getting the belt, because Leon's a very good matchable style for me. I know I could beat the living breaks off you, bro, just like you know that I'm gonna beat the breaks off you. But it's not just getting that belt, it's also defending that belt and going up against the world's best. So to me, it's not just getting the belt and I'm done, I had a good career. It's separating myself from the pack, getting that belt and getting finish after finish after finish. And then I could see myself like, all right, I've done enough. Boom, I'll hang up the gloves, I'll hang up the jersey, throw the mouthpiece into the crowd and just, you know, go on to another phase in my life. But for right now, this is all that matters to me, man.
And thank you for coming out. Thank you for bringing us here, dude. It's we'll be back here in a matter of weeks.
Days, cuz. Feel me? I'm from Miami, bro. Fighting right in front of the Freedom Tower, fighting in front of all my people, man. They've been through hell and back just to get to this country, and that energy that I'm gonna feel in there that they're gonna give to me, because when they see me, I'm their fighting rooster. When they see me, they know that's our guy, win or lose, that dude goes for the death of it. He's just like one of us. That energy in there is gonna create a force field, a barrier, and ain't nothing gonna be able to penetrate. I'm gonna eat Gilbert's lunch money up, I'm gonna fly to England, I'm gonna slap what's his face, and I'm gonna jack that belt right from him. You feel me? I'm from Dade County, bro.
Thank you, bro.